know, the government of Ghana recently deployed a pilot phase of its new e-payment portal. Designed to facilitate the payment of GOG services by individuals and corporations, the portal is being developed under the leadership of the National Information Technology Agency of the Ministry of Communications as part of the World Bank-funded eGhana project.
Hello my friends, welcome once again to the Bulletin. Now the Bank of Ghana is expected to announce a new capital requirement for banks from next month. The regulator is going ahead with this move after some extensive engagements with players in the banking industry. Head of Banking Supervision at the Bank of Ghana, Raymond Amanfo, disclosed this to Joy Business at the launch of the 2017 Banking Survey report by accounting firm PricewaterhouseCoopers.
We are expected to implement Basel II in next year.
What does that mean, the Basel II?
Yes. What we are saying is that there's a standard that internationals have agreed looking at the minimum capital, risk-based capital that every bank will have to provide. That is different from the minimum capital. You know, every bank, when you are doing business, you have some risks involved. Credit risk, operational risk, market risk. And there is a standardized way of measuring these risks that will also determine the level of capital that you have to be maintained. The minimum capital is just the floor, okay? And that is the starting block, the building block. You build on the minimum capital requirements, the various risks that you acquire, and whether you require capital. Now, what we are trying to do is to develop a standardized way of measuring the various risks in the various risk areas. We've done quite a lot of consultation with the industry. If you recall, you also have to be careful that you don't set it too high to make it irrelevant to some institutions, because you see, there's cost to capital. There's cost to capital. So what is the beef if you bring risk capital either too high, such that looking at the nature of the business of some banks, they may not require that capital. You mustn't set it too low, such that it will also be irrelevant, that banks will then have to. So I think there's a lot of consultations have gone on, and I'm very sure that rather very shortly you get some information.
That could be next month, if I should say.
Probably.
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 It's firmed up, some would say.
No, I say probably. Now the reason
will happen before the close of this year.
Definitely.
Well, we've been getting some reaction from President of the Ghana Association of Bankers, Alhassan Andani. He tells Joy Business banks are ready for this capital-based review.
We are happy with the level of engagement, and I think it's taking time because the central bank would want to take in all shades of opinion, and look at niche appetites of various investors and banking groups.
Someone would ask that, is the industry really ready for it? Because we knew that some banks are having challenges with capital as well. How ready is the industry for this capital review?
If we are looking at the general industry, yes, the industry is ready. A significant part of the industry is ready. Yes, there may be one or two banks that will require new shareholders or require to inject new capital. Now, to the extent that, again, the niche markets that they have chosen to operate in remain profitable, they will get the requisite capital. But as an industry, if we look at if we were to take the 2080 rule, 20% of the industry players who control about 80% of the capital are ready.
Some would say that we should take a second look at the one size fits all, maybe a segmentation, the risk-based capital rather, because there are people who think that the one size fits all approach doesn't work.
I agree completely, and the underlying word is risk-based capital management. So the minimum is basically minimum, but the amount of capital any bank will carry will depend upon the risk segments you want to play in, because the regulators are now requiring that the amount of shareholders' capital that you have to assign for risk assets that you contract in order to make money on your balance sheet should be supported by certain levels of capital. So minimum is minimal, but if you want to play big in the market and do the larger transactions, do a bit more risky transactions, then you will be required by regulation to put in more capital. That is really the structure you need to support that balance sheet.
Well, so we've been going through that report that was launched by PricewaterhouseCoopers ranking the various financial houses, and it appears that Indian bank Baroda is consolidating its position as the most profitable bank in the country. Here's more in this report.
This is about the third time running that the bank has emerged as the most profitable financial institution in the country. According to the report, which assessed the published financial statements of financial institutions, Baroda was ahead of other 24 banks reviewed in the rankings. The Indian bank recorded almost 90% growth when the profitability ratio was on its financials by the accounting firm PricewaterhouseCoopers. It also came on top in terms of its ability to turn around its resources to grow revenue as well as return on assets. In recent reports by the Bank of Ghana, the bank also emerged as offering the best interest rates to businesses. Bank of Baroda recently told Joy Business that it has been able to achieve this because of prudent management of resources. EcoBank ranked first as having largest share of industry deposits, loan advances, and assets. The rankings also put GCB as having the best net interest margin, and UBA stood out as the best in return on equity, while First National Bank was the most liquid.
Well, senior country partner at PricewaterhouseCoopers, Vish Ashiagbo, has been shedding more light on the recently released report.
Our analysis is based on financial statements, published financial statements. So if you look at the raw data in terms of profitability, for example, that is why you get the results that you get. And we've had this question over and over again, that, well, Bank A, Bank B, Bank C may not be doing exactly the same type of business. So if you say that a particular bank is the most profitable, factually, perhaps that's the case. But the actual business that each bank is involved in may differ. So in our case, all we're doing is looking at the financial statements and doing our analysis based on that. And those are the facts.
But some of you saw that what next? Because there are people who would always be debating these issues.
Well, I mean, take from it what you will. And what I mean by that is if a particular bank has a strategy that means that the profitability is not as high as another bank for the first year, 2 years, 3 years, that's fine. The facts based on the financial statements reflect a certain position. But within that, everybody has their strategy, their operational requirements, etc., etc. So much as we're trying to compare apples to apples, there's always that little bit of gray area in terms of what specific banks are doing that is being reflected in their financial statements. It's a measure based on the published financial statements as the point in time. But of course, that can evolve over time depending on the strategy that each bank adopts.
Turning focus now to some other stories we've been following for you today. The Vice President has charged the new board of the Bank of Ghana to bring its expertise to bear to help reduce the cost of credit in the country. The Vice President said this when he inaugurated the 13-member board at the Bank of Ghana.
Duly appointed as a member of the Board of Directors
Duly appointed as a member of the Board of Directors
of the Bank of Ghana, do in the name of the Almighty God swear.
Do in the name of the Almighty God swear.
That I will at all times well and truly serve the Republic of Ghana.
That I will at all times well and truly serve the Republic of Ghana.
In this appointed office.
In this appointed office.
And that I will uphold.
And that I will uphold.
Preserve and defend the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana.
Preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana.
As by law established.
as by law established.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Macroeconomic stability. We expect the decline in the policy rate to also be transmitted to lending rates in the country amongst the banks. We know that there are a lot of elements that go into the price, which we are going to do, like putting in place, the national ID system, able to bring down the risk premium, as you can uniquely identify, and then that the banks should be able, therefore, to rely on credit reference agencies and so on.
Well, meanwhile, inflation is still trending downwards as the rate declines to 11.9% in the month of July. It dropped from 12.1% in June, representing a marginal reduction of 0.2 percentage points. This is the lowest rate recorded since September 2013. At the level of regions, 6 recorded rates above the national average, and they were the Upper West, Western, Greater Accra, Eastern, Bono Ahafo, and Ashanti regions. The Upper East region, however, recorded the lowest inflation in the month under review. So what must have accounted for this latest decline? Here is acting government statistician Baroda.
In July 2017, the year-on-year inflation rate was 11.9% as compared with a rate of 12.1% that was recorded in June 2017. And the monthly change rate in July 2017 was 0.7% as compared with a rate of 0.9% recorded in June 2017. And the year-on-year non-food inflation rate for July 2017 was 14.2% compared with 15.1% that was recorded in June 2017. Then the year-on-year food inflation rate for July 2017 was 7.2% as compared with 6.2% recorded in June 2017. Then the year-on-year non-food inflation rate of 14.2% is about double that of the food inflation rate, which was 7.2% for the month of July 2017. In July 2017, the year-on-year inflation rate for imported items was 2.0 percentage points higher than that of locally produced items. That is 13.2% as against 11.3% for imported and locally produced items.
Now, the rate of corruption in Ghana has the potential of hampering government's resolve to achieve macroeconomic stability. That's the position of stakeholders at the just-ended roundtable discussion by the Ghana Good Corporate Governance Initiative. Charles Aite has more.
The roundtable saw key industry representatives, including members of the diplomatic corps, engage government on how best to end corruption in Ghana. Former Shraj boss Emil Short made a case for government to open up the selection process for the office of Special Prosecutor to ensure confidence in the office.
My concern is how you ensure that the person who has the institution is truly independent and is perceived by all and sundry to be independent. And I'm saying that I would have preferred if the position is advertised so that anybody who feels that he or she is competent, has the moral courage, tenacity, and integrity to prosecute anybody who is implicated, any such person can then apply for the position, and you have an independent committee.
Australian High Commissioner to Ghana, Andrew Barnes, tipped Joy Business of a special initiative by the Australian government to ensure the private sector operates in a conducive business environment.
Every country, any country, has to deal with corruption, and if it's a big problem, if it's severe, it will certainly retard, hold up the development of that country. And certainly a consideration for investors from Australia here, and that's primarily in the mining mining sector. I think investors have to weigh up a whole lot of considerations about their business proposals, and corruption does figure prominently on it, and they make serious judgments about whether they would invest in Ghana or another country, and if Ghana doesn't stack up against the other countries, they won't invest there. But for us from Australia, mining is our big area of specialty, and where we do invest here in Ghana. And the problem of galamsey is really an aspect of that of corruption. It's a manifestation of corruption.
The Ghana Good Corporate Governance Initiative was launched in January by the Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, as a way of intensifying the fight against corruption in Ghana.
You're watching Business Live. We are taking a short break. The Joy Business Van is up next. Welcome back. Time for the Joy Business Van. Well, a year ago, CEO of Market Express, that's Ebenezer Lartey, dared to take a dive into the world of business. And well, the former banker who overcame his fear of failure is now running one of Ghana's most patronized online grocery shops. We revisited the young entrepreneur who could become Ghana's Jeff Bezos. Remember the story of the banker turned online grocery man?
I was at a point where my passion was definitely greater than my fear, because for many bankers, a lot of people want to quit, but they are afraid, what about if it doesn't go well? You know, so for me, it's down to passion. I think that the passion was definitely greater than the challenge and also the fear of failure. And so we took the dive. I used to tell my friends we wore a parachute and dived in anticipation that the parachute will open. What about if it doesn't open?
Well, guess what? His parachute landed him on safe ground, and today he's running a successful online grocery business. It's been 1 year since they started operations. This week on the Joy Business Van, we are taking you back to Market Express to find out what's changed. The first thing we noticed is that Ebenezer Lartey no longer works from his porch at home. A lot has happened within a year.
We have a bigger clientele base now. We've expanded our reach. So in the past we were doing only the center of Accra. Now we are going beyond Tema. We're doing all these locations that I believe that it's a show of growth. We've diversified also our portfolio. Initially, we're doing B2C only. Now we have B2B, meaning we have businesses that depend on us for their supplies.
Interestingly, Ebenezer didn't anticipate this boom in business. Ghanaians like to shop for groceries the traditional way, but the idea of getting someone else to handle your shopping seems to be catching on with the middle working class.
The biggest achievement is to prove that Ghanaians will shop for groceries online. In the past, it seemed like this thing is an idea that seems interesting, but I'm not sure people would really do it. People gave interesting arguments like, you know, when people want to buy stuff, they want to touch it and feel it, and when it's food, they are not sure. However, we've mitigated that with quality products and brands. And so, for example, if you bought cornflakes from Market Express, I mean, we don't produce the cornflakes. You know the brands before you buy. And we ensure that we are giving people good brands that they can relate to.
It's not been all rosy, though.
There are a number of challenges, and one of them comes especially around operational cost. And so you usually have internet or infrastructure expenditure to do. The price of data and internet is a little expensive in Ghana, so that becomes one of the major costs. We have fleets to manage because we are more a technology and also a logistics company. So they come with challenges. However, in every challenge comes a solution or an opportunity.
It turns out the warehouse hasn't changed that much, and there's a reason behind it, right?
Yes. So we've tried to be more efficient when it comes to our stocking and our pushing out the stock and stuff like that. And so I think that operations management is very effective. We are a very lean and mean organization. And so what we have tried to do is that we've tried not to hold too much stock. And for that reason, we've tried as much as possible to use the same space over the period.
Ebenezer's entrepreneurial journey is not all about taking risks, but learning not to become complacent.
I was actually the head of the customer service team. So I was picking calls, I was engaging customers, I was learning what the customers were looking for that they couldn't find. Because once we know that, then from the top of the organization, we have a good focus in ensuring that we are satisfying our customers right.
In the near future, Ebenezer hopes to start producing and packaging his own brand of products and introduce an online shopping app.
For me, I don't know why many Ghanaian businesses do not think beyond Ghana and do not think beyond maybe a city center in Accra or Kumasi. I really think that for us, we should aim higher and become this African brand that's significant for the African people.
Ebenezer doesn't rule out Market Express GH becoming a global brand, but right now, he's just satisfied with being able to change the way people shop for groceries every day and to provide a satisfying service. He says he's fulfilled much more than 10 years of banking gave him. Well, time to do our interview of the day, and gold purchasing and trading firm MENZGOLD Company Limited fears its business could be negatively affected following what it says were false claims made about its operations by the central bank. The second deputy governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Johnson Isiama, on Tuesday told the Public Accounts Committee that the operation of MENZGOLD is not approved by the bank and cautioned the public not to stay with the company. However, marketing manager at MENZGOLD, Fodio Shadrach, tells Joy Business the Bank of Ghana's assertions were misplaced and urged clients to remain calm.
Interview of the day.
The news in the market that is on the public domain, we would like to see that it is no different from what we do at MENZGOLD. We are not a cash depository company, firm, or bank. We are not a financial institution. We are not a microfinance. We are not a savings and loans. We don't do bonds. We don't do shares. We don't do treasuries. We don't do anything related to finance. We are a gold dealership firm.
So how come this is coming up then?
How come this is coming up then? And I think that is a misconception that maybe that is on the market, that is on public domain. And very good thing, one good thing that's
perhaps the way you advertised it?
No, our advert on radio did not tell people to bring cash to our advert. And there is no one that has come to our advert with cash. That is it. And evidence is that anyone can walk into any of our branches to confirm. We do not even accept cards at any of our branches across the nation.
Okay, so how do you think all that has happened is going to have a hit on your business, especially when we are coming out of this DKM scandal? People are a bit scared and worried, if I should say.
Yeah, frankly speaking, it has a negative effect on us, and we are trying as much as possible to convert all negativity into positivity in our own interest. That's what we are doing right now. We are also trying to educate the public, and we are telling and urging our clients to keep calm the outbreak of this news. Okay. And one thing is that verily we have not accepted cash, so we are comfortably doing our business. Business is still ongoing.
Interview of the day.
And that's how we wrap up our program tonight. Thanks for your company. My name is Darryl Kwao. I'll see you tomorrow.